interviewing this TV. No English, no short. So, clean developer. Now, I'm going to come. All right.
Okay, so I'm going
to
Text me.
There's only one me.
Yeah. Take fast, though, man.
There's no going.
Very much speak.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start.
I want to know the issue of burial. Have you finalized the arrangements?
The issue to deal with burial has not been finalized. What we're doing is tomorrow we're meeting with the protocol people in order to get to those issues at 10 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be able then thereafter to make a comment as to precisely what is going to happen.
But what's happening in Singapore right now? What stage are they at?
What's happening in Singapore right now is just preparing the body. You know, the plane that is going to bring the body, you know, will leave here on Monday, I'm told. We've just been selecting people that are going to accompany the plane to pick up the body and to bring the body back. And those dates, the actual dates, I will have to reconfirm again, but the timing is more like Wednesday. More like Wednesday also.
For the body to come to Zimbabwe.
Yes.
There are reports that the former president refused to be buried in National University. What's your position?
I saw the WhatsApp that did the round, but we don't know where that information originated from. I know other people create these stories so that they make comments themselves. chase the comments, you can guess who perhaps originated the story. I really, it didn't originate from the family.
Are you saying then he's going to be buried at the National
I'm
Heroes
not
Day?
saying so. I'm not saying that. You know, the chiefs right now are the people that will determine where he will be buried. Right now, the break that they've just taken is because there's one more important person who is supposed to represent the father of the late president. He's not yet here. So the chiefs have decided that they cannot make a decision if he's not there. So as soon as he comes, they will deliberate, and obviously there is a need to consult also with the wife in Singapore, so that, you know, if there are issues of how he wants to be buried and that sort of thing, which he probably would have said to his wife, you know, can be brought to bear. But the people that make the decisions are the ZVIMBA people, the chiefs, those that are sitting in that room right now.
So, Mr. Mugabe, you were very close to President Robert Mugabe. After November 2017, there was a feeling that President Mugabe had been betrayed by people who were so close to him. Did you ever talk to him about how he felt, privately?
Yes, he was
your
bitter. He was bitter. You know, you can explain, you can imagine people that you trust, looking after your security, are the same people that, you know, turn against you. You know, he was very bitter. He was very bitter, and it dented his legacy, if you want to look at it from that point of view. So it was not an easy thing for him to take down. You know, I'm sure you saw a video. I tried to cheer him up from time to time to say, Seguru, please, but it was just difficult.
Do you think it also maybe helped, in terms of accelerating maybe, his health?
Yes, the deterioration of his health happened immediately after the November 2017. Definitely, you know. Can you imagine the person that you 2 weeks before, prior to that, he was there, you know, standing for 2 hours. Now he could not stand. You know, suddenly he can't walk, he can't stand. You know, everybody saw that.
So, did the President Emerson Mnangagwa ever meet with the former president?
I don't.
Did you forgive those he says tormented you? Even in his last days, when
I'm sure as a Christian, you know, this heart that I'm giving back to, you know, belonged to our grandmother. And it is in this heart that we all grew up in. Him, my mother, ourselves, we grew up here, and in a Christian Catholic way. You know, and we were taught to forgive at some point. But you see, you want to forgive somebody who comes to you and say, I'm sorry I did this. And you say, okay, but if one doesn't say that, to say, I'm sorry I wronged you, how do you forgive? You can just forget, but you cannot forgive somebody else. Even God himself, if you don't repent, he will not simply just forgive you.
Can you characterize what his final days and final hours were to the best of your knowledge?
But to be honest with you, I can't. I wish I could, because I intended to travel on Wednesday. It's just that the people I was wanting to travel with, Albert and Walter Shitama, you know, they still have their passports taken by the courts. So basically, you know, we couldn't, because we wanted to travel as a team. So we hoped we would have traveled yesterday, Friday. Then, you know, suddenly everything booked, tickets bought, and then we just got the news that, you know, he's no more.
There's been a lot of characterization around that he was a liberator who lost his way. How do you respond to those criticisms?
I don't think he lost his way. People have different perspectives of what was going on, especially in 2017 during those rallies and so forth. But I don't think he lost his way. He was very clear, and he made it clear as to who his choice would have been to replace him. There was no secret about it. He had wanted to hand over power in December, 2 weeks from the date that it will happen. At the ZVIMBA conference, he was not afforded that opportunity. So obviously people have various perspectives of how they viewed him, how they viewed things, the goings on at the time, in particular as to who was going to be the other vice president, who was going to take over from him, and that sort of thing. So, you know, people were speculating.
But I'm just talking specifically about the labeling that he was violent, he was a dictator, he was a tyrant.
He was never violent. You know, you are talking as if there's no more violence in the country. You know, the architects of the violence are still there. You know, it was never him. You know, that I deny, because it's not like that. You know, it was never violent. You know, people do things in his name. Even the current president, if you ask him, there are people who do things in his name, and you simply blame it on the president, when the president might not even know. The issues that we sent the minister Zimbabwe with to the president yesterday, and the president apparently didn't even know.
But he once said that ZANU-PF have degrees in violence.
Some people have degrees in violence. It doesn't mean ZANU-PF alone. You know, everywhere in MDC, even those that are not affiliated, you find them putting tires in the streets, stones in the streets, stoning shops and things like that. We've seen it happen well after Mugabe got.
How is Miss Mugabe? I mean, have you been able to speak to her?
Yeah, I spoke to her this morning. Obviously, she's grieving. What she wants is a good send-off for her husband. And I think she's right in wanting a good send-off.
What would you characterize a good send-off like?
Look, this you are talking here of a hero of heroes, an icon of Africa. You know, befitting send-off for a man like that, a man who brought independence to this country, a man who helped other countries in the region to attain independence as well. You know, requires that level of participation by not just Zimbabweans but the continent of Africa as it were.
So what do you think, is there anything that the world doesn't know about former President Robert Mugabe, something personal that you think they should know?
Yeah, the empowerment of people, you know, it's a pity, you know, that program on empowerment was never quite finished. You know, if he had his way, you know, in terms of empowerment of his own people, what he wanted young people to do, to have, to run their own businesses, not to be employees, instead to be employers. You know, he often spoke about that, and each time you have a chance to talk to him, you would say, you know, that's the one thing that I want before I go to happen. You know, he was happy with the land reform program that was now water under the bridge, but you know, the empowerment program was something that he was really wanting to achieve. And I'm hoping, you know, those that have come after him and those that will come after will stick to the empowerment program.
And so after November, but before he went to Singapore, how did he spend, his time? You did mention the issue of the video that you circulated, but how did he spend his time? This was a man who was always in office and working.
He was at home. It was a different life. Things changed. That sudden change, affected his health, obviously. Somebody who used to wake up every day, exercise, go to the office, work and that sort of thing, and suddenly, things are changed. Obviously, things change. Health-wise, he was affected. Thank you very much. Good people.
Thank you.
I'm now going to put the name of my warrior, Simba.
Somalia.
Somalia.
Of all.
Come on.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a sinner.
Thanks so much, good people, for joining us live on ZVIMBA Live TV, the best online station in the nation that gives you information dissemination in a satisfaction manner. That was Leo Mugabe, who happens to be the nephew of the late President Robert Gabriel Mugabe, who was giving us a brief on what will be going to happen in the next few days.